Hi guys, my name is Zora Ali and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to back out of a contract for sale during the cooling off period. So first of all, what is the cooling off period? The cooling off period is essentially a 5 business day period of time that starts from the next business day after you have a contract that's been dated by both parties. So the way it usually works is you'll sign a contract for sale. The agent will then take that to the vendor. The vendor will then sign an exact copy of that same contract for sale, and then they will date both contracts. That date is known as the exchange date. And as the purchaser, you are entitled to a 5-day cooling off period by law, and that commences on the next business day. So as an example, if you sign the contract on a Monday, your cooling off period will expire the following Monday at 5 p.m. So the purpose of the cooling off period is solely for the benefit of the purchaser. The vendor cannot back out of the deal during this time, but you, the purchaser, can. But how do you actually pull out of the cooling off period? There is actually a formal process that needs to be followed to ensure that you're pulling out of the cooling off period in a way that is permitted and recognized under the law. If you want to pull out of the deal during the cooling off period, you need to ensure that you communicate that to your conveyancer or your solicitor, and you need to ensure that you let them know well in advance of the cooling off period expiry time and date. So going by that earlier example of your cooling off period expiring at 5 p.m. on a Monday, you need to ensure that you're telling your conveyancer or solicitor beforehand that you want to pull out of the deal. Now, that formal process is known as rescinding the contract. Now, rescinding the contract essentially means cancelling the contract, making it such that the contract never actually happened. To do this, you need to actually instruct your conveyancer or solicitor to issue a document called a notice to rescission on the other party's solicitor or conveyancer. A notice to rescission is basically the formal process through which you can actually pull out of the cooling off period without having to pay the balance of the deposit. You will have to forfeit your 0.25% holding deposit. That is fairly standard and you would have already paid that to the agent, but you would be under no obligation to continue with the purchase. The notice of rescission has to be served on the other party before the expiry of the cooling off period. So there is a lot of emphasis there on the 5 p.m. deadline. If it is served even a minute after 5 p.m., the vendor can actually hold you to the purchase. Now, if you think that you might need to pull out of the contract during the cooling off period, my recommendation is that you do give your conveyancer or solicitor a heads up in advance. This is so that they have sufficient time to prepare the notice to rescission, not send it, but keep it on file so that if, for example, at 4 p.m. on the day that cool off is due to expire, you've decided you're going to pull out of the contract, they have at least a little bit of time to send the notice, and they are actually on standby, sitting at their computer, ready to go to be able to press send on that notice and not elsewhere. So communication is key. It's very important that you're communicating what you're intending to do during the cooling off period to your conveyancer or solicitor. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I will be uploading more content like this on a fairly regular basis from now on, and I would really be interested in seeing what you guys have to say about that content. If you have any feedback or any questions, please use the comments function down below to send your comments my way. I will be reading them and I will be sure to respond. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.